Hi everyone and welcome back to my morning report trust price on Monday the 18th of July with the Move Japan market analyst at Handset Markets. Moving on to cable now. We're seeing rather choppy moves on cable. Look at this move on Friday, this big candle. 34.80 was the high, 31.30 was the low. That is 350 ticks of high to low downside. It's just, again, yes, you're seeing these really strong moves on cable as you see sort of turnarounds in sentiment. You saw the dollar strength on Friday. Subsequently, cable got sold off sharply, and we're seeing a bit more of a risk-on appetite today. A little bit of dollar weakness. We're seeing cable quite strongly higher today, so 75, 76 ticks higher on the day. So you're sort of again retracing the move. You're not really seeing any decisive trading on cable at the moment in terms of direction, because it's so messy. These candles are very just show the volatility, really strong volatility in the last sort of 2-3 days. Still, you're not really seeing any significant settling in cable, although I would still point towards the fact that I think rallies are a chance to sell on cable. I think there will be, let's start that again. I think there's going to be further sort of weakness that comes through. 35.55, well 35.33 was that reaction high there on the 29th, but there was 35 sort of 60 area is again a resistance on cable, and I think that ultimately these rallies will be sold into, and I'm expecting that there to be some sort of selling pressure coming through on cable that continues to the downside. But it does seem as though that at the moment the market is fairly unsure as to exactly the direction which to take cable. It's going to be fairly tricky, I think, trading cable, because I think with that in mind, I mean, if you just look at the last few days of candles, for example, you got a strong move to the upside and then a strong retracement move on sort of Wednesday into Thursday, then a strong rally, then a strong sell-off on Friday afternoon. So I think you're going to see this continued sort of up and down, topsy-turvy sort of trading on cable. You might get a bit of sort of intraday direction that you can sort of get on board, and it seems to be certainly that once you do get a move on cable developing, it for at least a day or so, it does tend to go quite strongly. But then you get this retracement move, and it becomes very tricky. So I think with that in mind, you need to keep your time horizons quite short in positioning. And with that, I think you look at this hourly sort of momentum, sort of very sort of up and down throughout the RSI from 30 up towards 70, just over 70. And the stochastics again are a very similar outlook. But I mean, if you look at the MACD lines, for example, you'd actually point towards them being touch more negative now, having been below the neutral line. So it's a difficult one, I think, cable at the moment, trading on anything more than just sort of maybe a day time horizon. So at the moment you've seen the rally higher, coming off sort of 32 figure again, and you're sort of breaking above the resistance from early morning today, so you're sort of gathering momentum once again to the upside. But again, maybe watching the RSI, maybe the hourly RSI is the trigger. So you've got mid-50s at the moment, you've got further upside potential in a run higher. The overhead resistance then starts to come back in around 33.50, minor pivot level, and then 34.50 being that spike high that we saw on Friday afternoon, also early Friday morning. So I think ultimately the move high has probably got a little bit of legs in it, perhaps a little bit further to go, but 32 figures initial support. 31.30 was the reaction low on Friday afternoon into the evening, then 31 figure again another support. So a few levels for you to work with there, but it is quite tricky trading cable at the moment. So I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you later.